don't live in
Just for Sunny, explore their relationship. That's their day.
County governor here since 2008 and is of course very proud of this castle. Like every person in Örebro, I hope everyone should be very proud of this beautiful castle. It's old, it's magnificent, and situated on a very small island with water all around, and the towers, 4 towers, just like a castle ought to be. So if you go to Stockholm, you will see a castle with no towers. And when we got to Stockholm when our kids were small, they were not so impressed by the Stockholm castle. This is the real castle. And the residents, of course, is
for your hospitality and fantastic guided tour. I have to admit, I haven't seen all of this myself. The only risk is that the level is so high now concerning the continuing of these projects. I don't live and I don't work in an environment like this myself, for example. It's a much more modest place. One can measure in that direction.
Six or 7 children, and you couldn't be unmarried in the 1700s of Sweden with 7 children, so she remarried down in a county in Östergötland, it's called, and got 7 more children in case of I moved with her. And for some reason, in case of I decided to not get married. I wonder why, but it might have been that she had got enough of siblings who didn't need any own children, maybe. So she's basically staying almost her whole life was called Klinkovström, which she was married in family. She was a cousin to the woman in that family. I said servant girl, that's not really true. She was called hushållsmamsell. I'm not really sure how to translate that. But basically she had the responsibility for the menus, for the cooking, for the keys, for the economy, for hiring and all those who were hired in the household. So she was basically the person who had the big responsibility for the household work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's so white fell asleep. Lazy buggers.
Men det är därför jag försöker berätta så pass mycket om det. Ja, men det känns så. Jag blir därför jag står här lite bra. Är de tysta så kan jag... Later on in the late 1800s, we were called the shoe city, actually, Örebro, which wasn't really, it's not really true, because it should be Kumla, outside Örebro, that should be called the shoe city. It's the stones to the next bucket.
Is that chicken? Evet şurada alabilir. Alayım mı sana?
Understand that no means no and yes means yes.
I sit with a rifle in my hand, hidden somewhere on a rooftop or in a window, to keep these streets you walk on safe from those Nazi bastards. Do not think I don't know the entails of risks of bringing her here!
Whether you know about the risks or not, they're too extensive.
Rather, am I a true Frenchman who represents my country and freedom? I refuse to hide beneath this snowbed of fear that lies across the country in the middle of summer. There are no risks that are too big in comprehension to submit to a tyrant.
Your father thought just the same. Are you going to leave me all alone?
Don't bring father into this. If you won't help her, then we'll leave. And then you will be all alone.
Okay, good morning everyone. Today we're going to do a presentation about Watershed, which is in the UK, Bristol. But first, just to introduce ourselves. So my name is Hannah. I am a full-time employee at Watershed. I've been working there about 2 years, and I'm part of the programming team, so the team that decides what happens at the venue. Watershed is a cultural venue, so we decide what films we program, what festivals, what projects we do, and my role is specifically, we call it engagement, so working with particular groups, whether families, schools, young people, particular communities in Bristol. So that's my job at Watershed.
Actually, I was in Mariestad from at the brewery.
Bana çok daha şey
Cooperar, ayudando un poquito para hablar, porque si no, no hablamos así. No, no lo digo por ti. No,
mushroom in the mushroom.
Ateşimden duramadım, ateşimden duramadım, ben bu sırra eremedim Ateşimden duramadım, ateşimden duramadım, ben bu sırra eremedim Seher vakti göremedim, yıldız gibi aktı geçti Seher vakti göremedim, yıldız gibi aktı geçti
You can rent it by the hour if you like. If you have your membership card, you can book it for free, like an hour in the evenings. It's we have lights and we have sound. Do you call it like that? Sound. Yeah, prepared if you want to have a concert here. We have a stage you can put together. And they also have aerobic classes here during the evenings. So,
like if we make this in Denmark, like every association would book it, and then in a couple of months there'll be no free time.
We always make free time. It's like our sports arenas. They are very highly booked with all these teams practicing during night, but we say these hours on this evening, it's our time.
So you still
Nobody can book it.
Yeah.
Yes. Different kind of stuff here too.
and there are special evenings for the member card, and then you have other groups too.
We didn't have any good explosive in my time. Well, black powder. But I mean, put black powder in a hole and a match. Psst! Nothing more happens. But the nitroglycerin is a very good explosive. But it's dangerous. I mean, first, you have it to explode when I want, not when it wants itself. And that's a big challenge. And in September 1864, 140 kilo of nitroglycerin blew up in Stockholm, and 5 people were killed, and one of them was my youngest brother, Emil. There are so many problems with nitroglycerin. You know, transporting in my time, the trains, a lot of shaking. Horse and carriage, a lot of shaking. And a lot of accidents happen. So in the end, some countries are now with forbid nitroglycerin. I mean, you see, to have a production I can't sell, that creates problems. Yeah, and I said, Alfred, you have to find a safe solution now. I mean, a safe explosion. I can assure you one thing. We were a lot of science, especially in Europe, that tried to find a safe explosion. Do you see? The whole Europe in my time, the industrial revolution. They had to have transport roads, tunnels, channels, railways. You see, the whole Europe was blowing up now. The first year, 1867, 11 tons in Kummel. 11 tons, it's a good start. But just 7 years later, I produced 3,120 tons. Do you see? This is my gold. And you still look worried. I could put it away. There were 2 gentlemen from Australia. They got the Nobel Prize in medicine. One of them was Barry Marshall. They found that ulcer, if you get bleeding stomach, it came from a bacteria. They started medicine around that. So they got the Nobel Prize in 2005. So Barry Marshall and his wife, first they were in Stockholm at the ward, then they went to Örebro, because they had contacts through the university. They helped each other actually. In the evening, the 13th of December, Barry Marshall and his wife, together with the board of the university, they were invited to the landshövding, and that's the representative from the government in this part.
We were there actually.
You were there yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Castle.
Oh, you were at the castle there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you see, there were 20 people eating a lovely dinner at the castle, and one of them, Barry Marshall, who got the Nobel Prize. I came from heaven then, and I had the painting, as you saw out there, I had that with me. I sat myself in the coffee room, on an empty chair. On the table there, I placed my picture, exactly the same position, absolutely still, and there was an empty chair on the other side of the table. So when everyone was in for the coffee, I could hear they discussed that doll there. Oh, interesting, was a doll there, Barry from the doll, and things like that. And everyone was taking coffee then. Then suddenly one said, Barry, you get the Nobel Prize. Place yourself on the chair there. We take a photograph of you and Alfred. Yes, he said. Placed himself and the coffee on the table. Now 9 people were taking photographs. I mean, flashes. And when we sat there, among all the flashes, someone said, no, Barry, you are too far from Alfred. We placed you closer. So they came with a normal chair, placed it on the left side of me, and Barry Marshall, he placed himself there. So now everyone's taking photograph again. Flashes. And then Barry Marshall thought, oh, he sat there, looked at me, I'm going to be funny now. He took a mobile phone from the pocket like that, placed it in his hand, played with it, and then he smiled. Then he looked me in the face and said, "Ha, you have never seen a new invention like that, have you, Alfred?" "No, I've never seen you like that." "You should have seen his face." And people were taking photographs. I've seen these photographs. I've never seen a man so scared in my whole life. He will never forget me.